In the fourth year of the Jia period of the Shu dynasty 361 AD, the monk Fotucheng wandered to Luoyang. At that time, 16 states had been established in the southern and northern regions of China, leading to constant military conflict, widespread suffering, and devastation. The leader of the former Zhao state, Liu Yao, raised an army and rebelled, while the leader of the later Zhao state, the ethnic general Shi led to 74 to 333 AD, camped his troops at Gepai. Neither of them believed in Buddhism. In the city of Luoyang, the magnificent temples and monasteries were burned, and many Buddhist monks were slaughtered. Fotucheng sought refuge under General Guo Heilue, a devout Buddhist who treated Fotucheng with great respect and regarded him as a teacher. At that time, the world was in turmoil, with flames of war spreading everywhere. Guo Heilue, under orders from Shi Le, waged wars across the land. Before every campaign, Guo Heilue would consult Fotucheng to predict the outcome. If victory was foretold, they would engage in battle, and if defeat was predicted, they would retreat. As a result, they always won. Shi Le found this peculiar and asked Guo Heilue, "I don't see you as having extraordinary wisdom, yet you always win. What is the reason for this?" Guo Heilue replied, "The general's brilliance is aided by divine assistance. I merely rely on a high monk to predict the outcomes." Upon hearing this, Shi Le immediately summoned Fotucheng and asked him to demonstrate his skills. Fotucheng took a bowl, filled it with water, and chanted mantras. In no time, a green lotus flower emerged from the water, swaying gracefully. This convinced Shi Le, who then treated Fotucheng with great honor. Not long after, Shi Le led his troops back to Hebei from Gepai, camping at Fangtu on the way. Fotucheng told Guo Heilue, "Tonight, enemy troops will raid our camp." As predicted, the enemy attacked at midnight, but due to prearranged defenses, they were repelled, fleeing in disarray. From then on, Shi Le had even greater faith in Fotucheng's abilities. On one occasion, Shi Le wanted to test Fotucheng. He dressed in armor, wielding a sharp sword, and sat upright, ordering someone to wake Fotucheng and tell him that enemy troops would attack that night. Fotucheng merely smiled and went back to sleep. Shi Le, displeased, thought that Fotucheng was being disrespectful and began to harbor jealousy and suspicion towards his abilities, contemplating killing him. Sensing this, Fotucheng hid at Guo Heilue's house and instructed him, "If Shi Le sends people to find me, tell them I'm not here." Sure enough, Shi Le sent people to search for him, but they couldn't find Fotucheng anywhere. Shi Le was puzzled, thinking, "Can Fotucheng even predict my thoughts? How can I kill such a divine monk?" The more he pondered, the more fearful and regretful he became, staying awake all night, eager to see Fotucheng. Knowing that Shi Le had repented, Fotucheng came to see him the next morning. Shi Le tried to cover up his feelings and jokingly asked, "Where were you these past few days?" Fotucheng smiled and replied, "A few days ago, the general was filled with thunderous anger, so I temporarily avoided you. Today, the general's heart is calm and happy, so I have come to visit." Embarrassed, Shi Le laughed awkwardly and said, "Surely the monk didn't suspect anything, did he?" One day, the water in the moat surrounding Xiang city suddenly dried up. The source of the river was 2.5 kilometers northwest of the city. Fearing an enemy attack, Shi Le hurriedly asked Fotucheng if there was any way to restore the water. Fotucheng replied, "If you want water, you must first have a dragon, for where there is a dragon, there will be water." Saying this, he took his disciple Fashu and a few others to the river source outside the city. Fotucheng sat cross-legged on the riverbank, instructed his disciples to light incense, and began chanting. He fasted for several days, and on the third day, a small stream of clear water began to flow, followed by a small dragon 5 or 6 inches long. The water gradually increased in volume, filling the moat in no time. Shi Le waged war against the Xianbai tribe for years. One day, the Xianbai general Duan Mobo led a massive cavalry charge against Shi Le. Terrified, Shi Le asked Fotucheng for advice on how to resist the enemy. Fotucheng said, "Last night, the bell on the pagoda rang, indicating that tomorrow morning during breakfast, Duan Mobo will be captured alive." Shi Le found this hard to believe. Capturing the enemy leader amidst thousands of soldiers seemed like a fantasy. Restless and uneasy, Shi Le barely slept until dawn. As he climbed the city walls, he saw Duan Mobo's cavalry surrounding the city, with dust rising into the sky. Terrified, he sent his deputy Kuian to summon Fotucheng, who calmly said, "Rest assured, Duan Mobo has been captured alive and will soon be brought before you. As it turned out, during the Xianbai assault on the city, a hidden force emerged from the north gate and ambushed Duan Mobo, capturing him alive. Shaila had him brought to the city wall and shouted, "Your general has been captured. Retreat now, or face death." Seeing their leader captured, the Xianbai soldiers lost their morale and fled. Seizing the opportunity, Shaila's forces launched a counterattack, killing and wounding many of the enemy. Shaila's victory made him even more respectful of Fotucheng, following his advice in all matters. In the first year of the Guangxu period 325 AD, Liu Yao sent his brother Liu Bing to attack Shaila. Shaila ordered Shai Julong to confront the enemy, but Julong was defeated and retreated to Shiliangwu, where he fortified his position and sent for reinforcements. When Shaila consulted Fotucheng, he said, "There's no need to send troops." Last night, Liu Bing was already defeated and captured. Shortly after, news arrived confirming Fotucheng's prediction, with Julong turning defeat into victory. Shaila was so impressed that he revered Fotucheng even more. Shaila continued his campaigns, growing stronger with each victory. He defeated many opponents, occupying vast areas of the Yellow River Basin, and established the later Zhao state. The only remaining strong enemy in the north was the former Zhao state. That year, Liu Yao led an army of 100,000 to besiege Luoyang, and several of Shaila's generals surrendered to Liu Yao. With Liu Yao's aggressive advance, Shaila decided to personally lead his troops to rescue Luoyang. Many ministers opposed the idea, warning him of the risks, but Shaila dismissed them, angrily sending them away. He then consulted Fotucheng, who said, "Liu Yao has surrounded Luoyang, and some believe he is invincible. However, his army has been besieging the city for over 100 days, and their morale has waned. Our troops are still strong and will surely succeed in rescuing Luoyang." Yesterday, the bell on the pagoda rang again, saying, "Shuzi Tilagang, Pugu Kutudang." Shuzi means army, Tilagang means out. Pugu means Liu Yao, Kutudang means capture. The verse foretells that as soon as our army sets out, Liu Yao will be captured. Overjoyed, Shaila declared, "Victory is in sight." He personally led his troops and launched a multi-pronged attack on Liu Yao, routing his forces and capturing Liu Yao alive, whom they then executed. With the fall of the former Zhao state, Shaila nearly unified the north and became emperor. From then on, Shaila revered Fotucheng like a god, seeking his counsel on all matters. Shaila's son, Shekong, sought to usurp the throne. Fotucheng, mindful of their father-son relationship, did not speak directly but subtly warned Shaila, saying, "This year, onions are infested with worms, and anyone who eats them will die. Your Majesty should issue a decree across the country, forbidding the consumption of onions." Not long after, Shekong indeed led a rebellion. Shaila's most beloved son, Shaibin, suddenly fell ill and died. Shaila was heartbroken, grieving over his son's body. He thought, the legendary Dr. B&Q could bring the dead back to life. Surely the godlike monk Fotucheng must have a way. With this in mind, he reverently summoned Fotucheng. Fotucheng took a willow branch, dipped it in the clear water of his bowl, gently sprinkled it on Shaibin's face, chanted a mantra, and held Shaibin's hand, saying, "You may rise now." Shaibin suddenly awoke, slowly sat up, and soon fully recovered. Overjoyed, Shaila rewarded Fotucheng generously and entrusted his other sons to Fotucheng's care. One day, with clear skies and no wind, a single bell on the pagoda rang. Fotucheng told everyone, "The bell foretells a great morning in the country, and it will happen within this year." Not long after, Shaila indeed fell ill and died, and his son Shai Hong ascended the throne. In 335 AD, Shai who courtesy named Julong deposed Shai Hong and proclaimed himself ruler, moving the capital to Yi.